Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about schedule and scheduling. The schedule means it is a plan or timetable which describes what department or what machines we can use and when we can use it like that. Coming to this, for example, if we take the classwork, in that classwork also we are preparing the timetables for each period and based on the day or based on the working hours. Likewise, in manufacturing industry also we are going to prepare the schedule for that work, or we are going to prepare the schedule for that manufacturing. uh, we are giving some time period, or we are giving time span, that is called as the schedule. And coming to the scheduling, here it can be described or it can be defined as prescribing of when and where each operation necessary to manufacture the product is to be performed. Here we are prescribing when we are going to do that operation and what type of operations are required and where we have to do, or where we have to functioning that operation. Those things we mentioned in a one prescribed format, that is called as the scheduling. It is another terms, it is also defined as establishing of times at which to begin and complete each event or operation comprising a procedure. And here the principal aim of scheduling is to plan the sequence of work so that production can be systematically arranged towards the end of completion of all products by due date, or otherwise we are going to lose that due date and we are not performing the operations in a in time. There we are going to lose the productivity, and there we are going to lose the economy. So that the reason we are preparing the scheduling to prepare or to get the productivity, or to improve the productivity of that product. Okay, next, coming to the objectives of scheduling. Here the main objective is to avoid the wastage of time between the departments and work centers, so as to maintain uniform loading of all the machines in the production line. If suppose we don't have the scheduling, simply we are giving the jobs to that mission or labor. That time they are going to do that operations, and they don't know where to send and how to perform the next job. They don't know, though that the reason we are going to lose the productivity, and we are going to waste the material, or we are going to waste the time. So that the reason we prepare the scheduling to overcome that wastage of time between the departments and the work centers. Next one is to make effective utilization of machines and labors, so that the output can be produced within the stipulated time, then thereby promptly delivering the products on time. Okay, and also it reduces the ideal time of labor and machines, which may be seen due to the delays and movement of materials, inspection and achievements of the task. These are the main objectives of the scheduling. And continue to that objectives, here we are going to set the delivery dates for different manufacturing activities and for finished products by the help of scheduling, and also improve the efficiency of productions and improve the productivity. These are all the things we did, or we performed, the scheduling was helped to these objectives. And next, coming to the relationship between the routing and scheduling. Here these two are closely interrelated with each other, but here they both are interdependent. In other words, here the routing cannot be undertaken without the scheduling. Similarly, the scheduling cannot be undertaken without the routing. They both are the interrelated. They both are the required for each operations. And also, without routing information, the scheduling cannot be done effectively. For example, in a routing we taken on general example, that is we taken the RTC buses. The depot manager, he prepared the route sheet, and he allocated the buses to the various routes and various various depots. Here at the time of that allocation, we are thinking the routing, then according to that routing we are going to prepare the scheduling. So here the routing is one of the important factor on which here the routing is one of the important factor on which scheduling depends. And also the routing determines what works has to be done, where it has to be done, and how it will be done. These are all the informations we maintained in the routing. Similarly, without all these informations, scheduling the work would be difficult, because how to do that work and where to do that work and when to do that work we don't know. It means we can't scheduling. So the routing and scheduling both are equally important for one other. Or for carrying the routing effectively, schedules prepared in the past are used as basis. And Here the routing and scheduling are the important functions of production and production planning and control. Okay, then coming to the factors affecting scheduling. Here mainly two factors are affecting the scheduling, that is the external factors and internal factors. Coming to the external factors, here in these external factors which hold an important on scheduling includes external demands of the customers, delivery dates of the customers, the stock of goods which are remaining with the dealers and the retailers. Here external demands of the customer means we are going to take the orders from the customers. According to that order we are going to prepare the schedule. Similarly, the customers may give some delivery dates or some due dates to that manufacturers. According to that delivery date we have to perform the operations. Here the stock of goods which are remaining with the dealers and retailers. Next, coming to the internal factors, here these internal factors are affecting the scheduling or the stock of finished goods which remains with the firm. And if suppose the stock means if the stock was pending at the warehouse, they don't have the sales at the time, we have to maintain the schedule according to that stock. The equipment and machinery which is available with the firm along with their total capacity and specifications. Based on the machine specifications we have to prepare the schedules for that production or manufacturing. Next, also quantity of the materials available. Based on that availability we are going to prepare the scheduling. Next, here the number, type and the nature of skills available with the firm. It means labor skills and machine quantity, or type of the machines or type of the labor. According to that we have to prepare the scheduling. Next, the time required for production finished goods from raw materials for production the component parts for the internal assembly of equipment. These are all the things we have to consider. Next, the extension of feasibility of production runs we are going to consider. Next, coming to the principles of scheduling. Here the principle of optimum task size, those are all classified into two categories. One is principle of optimum production plan and principle of optimum sequencing. And coming to the task size, it means the scheduling tends to achieve maximum efficiency when the task sizes are small and all tasks of same order of magnitude. Here the principle of optimum production plan means the planning should be such that it imposes an equal load on all plants. And also optimum sequence means the scheduling tends to achieve the maximum efficiency when the work is planned so that work hours are normally used in the same sequence. Next, coming to the inputs to scheduling, the performance standards. The information regarding the performance standards helps to know the capacity in order to assign required machine hours to the facility. Here the units in which loading and scheduling is to be expressed, we required to prepare the scheduling. And also we required the effective capacity of the work centers we required, and demand pattern and extension facility flexibility to be provided for rush orders and overlapping of operations, individual job schedules. These are the inputs we required for the scheduling. And coming to the strategies, scheduling strategies vary widely among firms and range from number scheduling from no scheduling to very sophisticated approaches. These strategies are grouped into four classes. One is detailed scheduling, then another one is cumulative scheduling, then the third one is cumulative detailed, fourth one is priority decision rules. First, coming to the detailed schedule. Scheduling. This detailed scheduling for specific jobs that are arrived from the customers is impracticable in actual manufacturing situations. Changes in orders, equipment breakdown, and unforeseen events deviate the plans. Next, cumulative scheduling. Here, the cumulative scheduling of total workload is usually, especially for long-range planning of capacity needs. This may load the current period excessively and underload future periods. It has some means to control the jobs. Next, cumulative detailed. The cumulative detailed combination is both feasible and practical approach if master schedules has fixed and flexible portions. Next, priority decision rules. The priority decision rules are scheduling guides that are used independently and in conjunction with one of the above strategies, that is first come first serve. These are useful in reducing work in process inventory. Okay, these are the strategies of scheduling. Next, coming to the types of scheduling. Here we have the two types of scheduling. One is forward scheduling and another one is the backward scheduling. The forward scheduling is commonly used in jobs of where the customers place their orders and needed as soon as possible basis. Here forward scheduling determines the start and finish times of the next priority job by assigning it in the earliest available time slots and from that time. And here determines when the job will be finished in the work centers, and since the job and its component starts as early as possible, then they will be typically completed before they are due at the subsequent work centers in the routing. Next, the forward method generates in the process inventory that are needed at subsequent work centers and higher inventory cost. Forward scheduling is simple to use and it gets jobs done in shorter lead times compared to backward scheduling. Next, coming to the backward scheduling, it is often used in assembly type industries and commit in advance to specify delivery dates. Backward scheduling determines the start and finish times for waiting jobs by assigning them to that latest available time slot that will be enable each job to be completed just when it is due but done before. By assigning jobs as late as possible, backward scheduling minimizes inventory sizes. Inventory, since a job is not completed until it may go to directly to the next work center on its routing. Next, principles of scheduling. Here forward and backward scheduling methods are shown in the following figure. Here this is the forward scheduling. Here we are starting the scheduling and the raw material and works. Here obtain the raw material. First we take the raw material, then we did the operation 1 and operation 2, and finally we are going to the assembly. And some coming to that backward scheduling, first we take the final assembly, then we are going to the operations and obtain the raw material. Here it means start by the scheduling due date required and work. But here forward scheduling, the start by scheduling raw material and work. Here the required due date means we are taken the 12 months. Here for the 12 months we are taken today's date, and based on that we are going to perform. Here this empty cell required the operation time, and this is the transit or queue. Here operation 1 first is, this is the empty time. First here we started the operation, and here the queue is there, and we are doing the job like that. This is about scheduling. Thank you.